For exercise 4-4, we're going to attempt to draw this drinking cup. Now, there's several ways to do it, but I'm going to use a couple of advanced techniques in drawing this one that I think might make my life a little bit easier. So I'm going to start new part, and it's 4-4. I'll say OK. And just like before, I want to do a sketch on my front plane, so I'll click my front plane, then sketch. Click sketch view, do my datum center line that goes all the way up and down forever and ever, and then my first line. Now, I don't actually have a height for my first line, which could be problematic, but I'm going to go ahead and instead I'm going to draw my first line out this way, and then do a normal dimension, click this endpoint, my center line, and this endpoint again so that I can get that linear diameter, and that's supposed to be 210. Now that I've got that at 210, I'm going to try to draw the rest of this thing in place. So I'll go to my line command, starting at this endpoint, go down to my origin. From my origin, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to draw a solid corner going back up to the top. At this point, I'm going to go to my fillet command and click here and here, and then I can put in the radius of this at 45. Now, that didn't do exactly what I wanted it to do, so I'm going to back up for a second, and I'm going to add a couple of other dimensions instead of that, changing that right now. First things first is I'm going to go to normal, and I'll click this endpoint, my center line, back to this endpoint, and I'm going to make sure that that always has a diameter of 56. Now I can click on this line and this line and make sure that that always has an angle of 100. Now that I've got those two dimensions in, I can probably go ahead and change this to 45 without it changing anything else. So at this point, in trying to keep this as simple as possible, this is where I want to leave my sketch. I've got no weak dimensions, it is closed, it is shaded, there are no red dots indicating an open end, so I'm going to go ahead and say OK to this, and then I'm going to revolve it. And you see again, it picks up my center line, it picks up my profile, and I have my revolve complete. Now, this cup as it sits right now would be kind of useless because you can't put anything into it. So I've got to make this into a cup with a wall thickness of 5 millimeters. So I'm going to click on the shell command, and then the first thing it tells me to do down here is select surfaces to be removed from the part. This surface right here is the only surface that needs removed from the part, so I'm going to click it. And then I'm going to change my wall thickness to 5. Then I can hit OK, and here I've got my completed exercise 4-4 without getting too complicated with anything else.